What this place brings to them is a place to shut off their work mind and to take all the worries that they have and put it aside for a couple hours and just focus on something fun, because they get to be in a whole different world and scenario and enjoy it with other people.
I think something different about spaces like these, first time you come, is that it's not necessarily something where you have to kind of come in as an expert. You can kind of come in with the intent to learn. You can come in and ask the folks who are here, like, well, what are your favorites?
Put a toast dragon here, get a fancy dragon, and then you can activate its ability.
If I'm going to be honest, as much as I loved board games growing up, I didn't realize there was a whole new world to it, that there were so many different types of games. I honestly only started getting addicted to it when I was in my early 20s, where I had a friend invite me to a board game at night, and she introduced me to Catan, Avalon, Flux, just a bunch of things that I had never heard of. And I was intimidated at first because I thought, this is going to be really hard. Am I going to understand it? I only played Clue. Like, I don't know anything better. But I dove into it pretty quickly, and I remembered how competitive I was.
One thing that I think a lot of people don't realize when they first start learning about games is that there are tons of games that are designed like specifically for two people, no more, no less, and they're great. They can be like very strategic, or they can be just very quick and very fun, very simple.
Good place. Yeah, it's got a pretty good 11.
So the reason why you would come to a board game cafe is simply for the space, because in reality, board games just take up space to hold 8 to 12 to 15 people at a time.
Yeah, you can actually sit down and play board games here. You don't have to spend energy playing host, you can spend energy playing the game.
They don't have to clean up. I'm the one doing that. 2, we have so many different choices of games.
And the games could be anything from very loose, crazy party games to things that are a little bit more intense. And there's people here who can help kind of point you in the right direction as to what games you might want to play, or help you just find the game that you love. Board games nowadays, they can be $60, $70 sometimes, and that's an investment for a game that you know virtually nothing about or you just read reviews on. Here, there is a cover charge for the gameplay, but you could come in and try 4 or 5 $60 board games, and I would not have run into it otherwise if it was not physically sitting there right in front of me, and now it's like my favorite.
It's kind of like school, where you're encouraged to interact and be here and be involved and be excited and have that excitement in your voice talking about something that is silly as a board game can be. Well, Taskmaster is just my pet project. It's something that I love more so than I have any reason to. Taskmaster is just something that I like. It is a British television show created by this guy, Alex Horne. He and his friend were entertaining themselves one day on a rainy day, and so they gave each other tasks. And the most memorable one from that first edition of Taskmaster was, how many things can you fit in your pants? It's just a game that you play to pit yourself against friends or opponents doing things stupid.
Moving on to your next task. We will all be taking turns. We're going to start at this end of the table. You'll all step forward in front of the long table. Your task is catch the most confetti before it hits the floor. Your time starts when the confetti is airborne.
Give me it all!
We also run events that are based around certain games like Magic the Gathering. We run an event for a specific format.
All right, so everybody gets 3 packs. You start by opening, we'll give you 50 minutes for the deck building phase. You open the first pack, take a card of your choice, pass the rest to the left. You go around until that pack is depleted. Then we'll have 3 rounds of playing. At the end, for prize payout, everybody gets at least 1 pack.
And they'll just play for 4 or 5 hours all the way until we close at the end of the night. And it's like a ritual. It's like a weekly thing that they come back every single week to do.
We have weekly Dungeons & Dragons about 3 times a week. It really goes everywhere, and every month is something different and new and special.
And you have expended all of your spell slots.
Oh my god!
You are currently not doing great.
My goal for this whole entire store was not just to bring one type of person in here, it was to bring everyone, so that everyone has a chance to do something that they're interested in and that they can find common ground with other people.
Because this is such like a social space, you see a lot of people start to kind of form friendships while they're here. If there's somebody who comes to like a weekly event, you see the same people week after week after week, you start to form different bonds. One of the things that we kind of encourage the most is like, hey, like after you play a round of the game, why don't you like kind of switch it up, move to like another table, another pod, play with another group that way. You see people who, this is kind of like, this is their meeting hub.
I am very much wanting people who have never played board games or who are just slightly curious about them to come in and try something new. I'm here to open your gates into a whole different type of world. 85% of the people that come in here are completely new to board games or to any of the type of events that we have here, and it's a very easygoing environment to do that.
Thanks for watching. Visit notjustahobby.com to learn more about these spaces and subscribe to see our latest episodes.